Hello everyone, welcome back to Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. GK Plays here, and we're going to continue straight into the trial for the final day of Tournament Samurai. Oh, God, this has been a long-ass trial. Court is now in session for the trial of Miss Will Powers. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Today, with the final day of this trial, I hope both the prosecution and defense will be able to present decisive evidence. Very well, Mr. Edgeworth, your opening statement. In yesterday's session, the defense presented us with a new theory for this case. It claims that the scene of the crime was in fact Studio 2. Today, I'll call on people present in Studio 2's trailer that day. From their testimonies, the truth will become clear. Very well. Edgeworth seems a bit on edge. Than he always. You may call your first witness, Edgeworth. The prosecution calls Miss D. Vasquez to the stand. Oh, okay. Miss D. Vasquez is the producer who was present in the Studio 2 trailer that day. Okay. Can't smoke indoors, not in the UK at least. Will the witness state her name and occupation? Vasquez. I'm a producer for Global Studios. On the day of the murder, you were in the trailer for Studio 2. As everyone here knows, yes. I dislike needless banter. If you must pontificate, do it when I'm not here. Oh, wow. Please with the court your testimony concerning the day of the murder. Nick! Hey, Nick! I know she did it. Make her pay. She cancelled Steel Samurai. She's guilty. If she's guilty, I'll catch her with her pants down. Oh dear, please don't. This is a family-friendly show. I entered the trailer, a little before noon. The meeting began at 12 sharp. It ended at 4. There was to be a rehearsal afterwards, so I went to Studio 1. I was fatigued, so I had Sal take me. At 2:30, we took a 15-minute break in the evening. Sal and I ate T-bone steaks at the table in front of the trailer. We found Hammer's body later, and we all went to Studio 1. That's all. I have a question about one part. You were fatigued, you had Sal take you? The van. There's a van at Studio 2. I had him take me in that. Thought it might be risky to walk, what with the monkey's head toppling over. Oh, yeah, fair, okay. Very well. Mr. Wright, your cross-examination. This is the final battle, Nick. Let's do it. Nick! I entered the trailer a little before noon. There was to be a rehearsal afterwards, so we went to Studio 1. So many T-bone steaks on the table in front of the trailer. In 15 minutes? That seems... Just for more information on that. Do you have someone who can verify this? Sal. I mean somebody else. One person is enough. If she committed murder during that break, she wouldn't have had time to eat the steak. Well, Nick, find anything? I wish you'd say a little more. It's hard. I think she's pretty used to being the boss. I'm sure you'll find some sort of... Yeah, contradiction. Blah, blah, blah. I'm going to present the plate. As I thought. You claim you ate a T-bone steak. I say you did not. What's this now, Mr. Wright? What are you pontificating about? Look at this. It's a plate. Did you pull that out of your pocket? The plate was on the table in the employee room. As you can see, a large bone's been left behind. Mr. Wright, need to remind you, it was a T-bone steak. Exactly my point. Remember, if you will, Miss Vasquez and Mr. Manella ate at the table outside the trailer. Oh, of course, there were no bones. Yes. Miss Vasquez, tell me, how can a person eat a T-bone steak and not leave the bone? I think I know how. You ate a boneless. You didn't eat the steak. You didn't eat any steak during that break. You took the steak and threw it somewhere, like that incinerator. Then what was Miss Vasquez doing during her break? Picking on salmon, that's probably more likely, but we're going to go with meeting the Steel Samurai. She was meeting the Steel Samurai, pointy finger. Or that? Are you saying? Yes, Your Honor. As Miss Vasquez left the trailer to eat her steak, she ran into the Steel Samurai. And then, you did it. You killed him with your own hands. Interesting theory. Isn't that a little presumptuous? Objection! What kind of stunt are you trying to pull, right? Let him claim what he wants. You say I did it? Yes. Fascinating. And here I was worrying that today would be boring as all the rest. Very well. Let's have a battle of wits, you and I. Any day, Vasquez. Good luck, Nick. Let's see. What was the murder weapon again? Oh yes, the samurai spear. Yes. I am, as you can see, a woman of petite stature. How could I possibly use a heavy spear as a weapon? She probably couldn't, to be fair. She is quite small. I think you'd have a great deal of difficulty using it as a weapon. Pretty much anyone would. You see? However, that has no bearing on this case. Meaning? The samurai spear was not the murder weapon. Yeah, I've got a theory on this one. I haven't played this for quite some time, so I can't remember exactly what it is, but I've got a theory. The spear was found lying next to the victim's body. It doesn't mean it was the... I could leave a knife left next to a murder victim. It doesn't mean I stabbed him. I have proof, Your Honor. I can prove that the samurai spear was not used as the murder weapon. This is going to be the 5-year photo. This was a theory I had all along. I think she pushed him onto the fence. Wrong, Mr. Wright. I know you well enough by now to know when you're going to present the wrong evidence. I can sense it soon with my fake blood. Shut up, Maya. Oh. Oh, of course, it's because it's been mended. But there is the murder weapon. Not so fast. Remember that the spear broke during the morning action scene run-through. But someone fixed the spear. It was a security lady. She fixed it with her duct tape. Now tell me, how is it possible for someone to stab a man who is wearing a thick costume with this through the chest? That is a very good point. Mr. Wright, what are you driving at? Think about what you're... Silence. I'm the one testifying here and I will be heard. Are you quite sane? Are you even aware of what you're saying? Oh. If the samurai spear was not the murder weapon, then pray tell what was. How was Hammer killed? I can tell you. Would I make a claim like that if I couldn't tell you what the weapon was? I'm afraid your confidence can sometimes be unfounded, Mr. Wright. Very well, let's see the murder weapon. Okay, yeah, I was a little ahead of myself, fine. Look at this photo. What is this? That's Jack Hammer standing at the top of the stairs. If I cannot have order, this trial will be suspended. Mr. Wright. What's this all about? This photograph is from 5 years ago. There's an unfortunate accident at Global Studios. This is a photo of that very accident. Not a word of this was leaked to the outside. It was a close-kept secret at the studios. What does this have to do with the current case? Mr. Edgeworth, you still can't see it. See the fallen man in this photo? See how the fence post pierced him straight through the chest? What are you saying? Yes. What happened 5 years ago? Has happened again. Mr. Wright, continue. It's 2:30 p.m. on the day of the murder. Miss D. Vasquez meets Jack Hammer outside the Studio 2 trailer. Then she did it. She pushed Mr. Hammer off the stairs onto the fence, just like Mr. Hammer had himself done 5 years ago. Though whether she did it on purpose or by accident, I cannot say. In other words, the victim, Mr. Hammer, he died in the same way that caused another man to die 5 years ago. And well done, Edgeworth. Keep up. Ironic, isn't it? Very creative, Mr. Wright. I could use a man like you on my script writing staff. You deny that what I say is true? Mr. Wright, let's say for the sake of argument that Hammer died at the trailer, as you say. The body was found in Studio 1, was it not? An evil magistrate's costume, no less. Are you then claiming that I carried the body to Studio 1, returned to the trailer all in the space of a 15-minute break? How could I dispose of the body? The break in the meeting at the trailer lasted 15 minutes, 2:30 to 2:45. Could Jack Hammer have been pushed up the stairs to his death, then carried to Studio 1 and placed inside his costume? There wasn't enough time. Indeed, Mr. Wright, how could she have dealt with the body? She had another way. She had the van. Or she had another way to carry the body other than with her own hands. For instance... Actually, for the matter, there was no need for her to do the deed in 15 minutes. And there was a way for you to carry that body. Interesting. Let's hear it. The van. Easy. Miss Vasquez, you carried the body to Studio 1, and you used the studio van to do it. Gasp, 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 gasp. Recall your testimony. There was to be a rehearsal afterwards, so I went to Studio 1. I was fatigued, so I had Sal take me. There was a van there, right? I had Sal drive me. You used the van to carry the body to Studio 1. Before everyone else got there, you put the body in the magistrate costume. Objection! Hold on, Wright. Don't forget it was Sal Minella that drove the van. Are you suggesting that Mr. Minella was a conspirator? Of course he was. Of course, Sal Minella had to be a conspirator. The body had to be placed in the van and put in the costume. No way Miss Vasquez could have done that alone. Also, don't forget they had to dispose of the Steel Samurai costume. They had to. Because it was covered in Mr. Hammer's blood. They probably burnt it in that small incinerator. Well, Miss Vasquez, shall I continue? No need. You're smarter than you look, Mr. Wright. I lose, you win. It was fun. Huh? So what happens next? Don't me. Do you have anything to say? What would you like me to say? Huh? I lost, something like that? I just said that. So you mean D. Vasquez, so it was you? You killed Jack Hammer? Who can say? Huh? Are you sure I did? Mr. Wright, we just engaged in a battle of wits. The result of that battle, you proved the possibility that I murdered Hammer. Right. But that's only a possibility. Proof is another thing altogether. You lack decisive proof, Mr. Wright. Oh, she's a tricky one. Mr. Edgeworth, your thoughts? Of course, it's as the witness says. Certainly it does seem very likely she did it, but there's no proof. Edgeworth isn't sure. Well, I came as a witness today. If you've no more questions, I'll be leaving. Testify again. I'd like you to testify again. Know when to give up, Mr. Wright. Think about it. Even if I were to testify again, what's the point? I can only say what I said before. Truth. I've already said all there is to say. What would happen if I said it again? You'd ask the same questions, get the same answers. A waste of time. As it seems there's no further questions, I would like to end the cross-examination of the witness.
Objection!
Ooh! Yes, Mr. Edgeworth? I was hoping to come up with a question while I was objecting. I didn't. Oh, for goodness sake, Edgeworth, get a grip.
Objection!
Objection! Your Honour, I request that the witness testify again. You're the prosecutor, why are you badgering me? I'm your witness. Why is Edgeworth helping? I just want to hear your testimony again. Does that make any sense to you, Your Honour? I don't see that we have anything to gain by repeating the last several minutes. I too see little point in making Miss Vasquez repeat herself. What exactly did you want to testify about? Well, yes, indeed, verily, I say, ergo. I want to hear about what happened after they found the body. After they found the body? Very well, the witness will testify to the court concerning the matter. Nick! Why did Edgeworth? Who knows? Probably realised she did it too. But wasn't he the one that said he always gets a guilty verdict? After all that. I was with Sal and Oldbad, the security lady, when we found the body. The assistant was there too, and Powers was absent. I immediately called the police, then Powers showed her. The security lady Oldbag was quite agitated, pointing at Powers saying, "He did it!" I asked to be left out of the proceedings, so I went back to the trailer to get my script and direction notes. Then I went home. I see no issues raised by this testimony. Okay, Nick, we're close. Real close. She may be acting tough now, but if you put her on the spot, she's sure to falter. Find the key you need and twist the truth out of her, Nick. Huh. Okay. Only Powers was absent. Powers showed her, the security lady. Why? You asked to be left out? Yes. Seems that everyone else was questioned. I'm really not fond of that sort of thing. We can't just decide if the police will and won't question. Thankfully, the studio thinks otherwise. They were nice enough to understand that, since we were in a meeting, there was no way we could have been involved, as they covered for us. Must be a lot riding on all those bigwigs at the meeting. I'm sure those professionals helped to convince everyone that she didn't require questioning. No, she didn't. We got them for her. Yes, they're quite valuable. It wouldn't do to have them stolen. I'm pressing harder on that. I thought you came to Studio 1 for a rehearsal. Why don't you bring your script and notes? Well, I was under the impression we wouldn't be able to rehearse anything. There was a murder. Who could think of rehearsing after that? Hang on a minute. In that case, she'd had to have known about the murder. Objection! Yeah, she'd have had to have known. Your Honour, I have an objection to the witness's last statement. Huh? Think. Miss Vasquez says she didn't bring the script because there wouldn't be a rehearsal. Don't you see what that means? She would have to have known about the murder before going to Studio 1. Yeah, exactly. There's no way she could have known because she was in the trailer. Mr. Edgeworth, what you have just said is a reasonable observation. However, I find it hard to understand why the prosecution would make such a move. Or you're thinking of a career change to defence. I appreciate the concern, Your Honour. I will stand by my statement, however, regardless of how the court sees my role here. Now, Miss Vasquez, do you have an explanation? I can't believe Edgeworth's helping me. So the prosecution is in cahoots with the defence. What kind of court is this? No matter. I think you misunderstood me. I had a perfectly good reason to believe there would be no rehearsal. I knew that Hammer was injured and couldn't do any action scenes, so I left them behind. Don't press that. How did you know about the injury? How did I know? Sal, he told me. Sal, the director. You have to find someone to peg this on her here. Everything we've done till now have been wasted. I believe in you, Nick. And Paris showed up. Let's just have a quick look at the evidence we've got, just in case. I knew Hammer was injured and couldn't do any action scenes, so I left them behind. Hang on a minute, because she can't have known. I'll show the photo. Objection! You knew that Hammer was injured, don't you think that's a little funny? I mean, it was the Steel Samurai who was injured. It was Will Powers. Yeah. Mr. Hammer is dragging his leg in this photo because he's emulating Will Powers. Will Powers was the one that was injured. That's because he was pretending to be Mr. Powers. Pretending? One person was injured in the run-through that morning. That person was Mr. Powers, not Mr. Hammer. Now, why did you think it was Mr. Hammer who was injured? I heard you said it was Sal who told me. You must have gotten it wrong. I think not. If Mr. Manella was at the run-through that morning, he would have known it was Mr. Powers who was injured. It saw it happen. Why would they tell you the wrong person? Miss Vasquez. Yeah, you saw Hammer limping. You didn't hear anything from Mr. Manella. You saw Mr. Hammer limping with your own eyes. Yes, but wasn't it Mr. Powers who was injured? Yes, but remember, Mr. Hammer was dragging his leg too. Yeah, because he was pretending. And when was he doing this? Well, it would have to be after he put on the Steel Samurai costume and went to Studio 2, where he was murdered. Exactly. Miss Vasquez, you met him, didn't you? You saw the Steel Samurai limping. And Mr. Hammer was in that Steel Samurai suit. That's why you were confused. That's why you thought it was Mr. Hammer who had been injured that morning. Gotcha. Witness, can you refute this claim? Yeah, see you sneak out of this one, Vasquez. Very well. I have a question for you. Ugh. Why are these real killers so persistent? Why in the world would I want Mr. Hammer dead? Yes, he'd fallen on hard times, but he was a star. I had nothing to gain from his death. He would need a motive. Why would she have killed him? There is a reason. If there is a reason, it's unclear to the court. Does the defence have anything to say on the matter? I think I can. I think it's the 5-year photo. This is my proof. This is the photo from before. This photo reveals the motive in this murder. I'm right, aren't I, Miss Vasquez? 5 years ago, Mr. Hammer was at the height of his fame. With D. Vasquez's help, a terrible accident was swept under the carpet. Ladies and gentlemen, the case was currently up for trial. It began on that day 5 years ago. Ironically enough, that accident precipitated Mr. Hammer's fall. His fall from stardom. His guilt weighs him down, no doubt. However, you, D. Vasquez, used Mr. Hammer. You made him work for you for better change. Bringing us to the present day and Mr. Hammer's last role as the evil magistrate. Yes, undoubtedly, it was a constant source of shame for the ex-star. One moment, Mr. Wright, we're talking about motives here. You've only talked about Mr. Hammer. It almost seems as if it was Mr. Hammer who killed D. Vasquez, not the other way around. What motive would Miss Vasquez have? Yes, that's right, according to what you say. I had no reason to kill Hammer. He was a good source of income. And I never get rid of useful men. It's a policy of mine. Mr. Wright, please explain Mrs. Vasquez's motives for murder. Okay. Should we present this again? This tells us why Miss Vasquez wants to kill Mr. Hammer. I'd say all it proves is that the defense attorney has completely lost his marbles. The court requests you find your marbles immediately. Think this one through. Let's say she had no motive. She had no motive. What's that now? It was Mr. Oh, of course! He was trying to kill her! I'm an idiot. It's late, I'm sorry. It was Mr. Hammer who was out for blood, and Miss Vasquez did... All Miss Vasquez did was rush off the stairs in self-defense. What's that now? It's simple. Mr. Hammer was intending to kill Miss Vasquez. What? 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 Your Honor, Jack Hammer drugged Mr. Powers with sleeping pills. Jack Hammer snuck into the dressing room and stole the Steel Samurai costume. Jack Hammer wore the costume to fool the security lady. Then Jack Hammer made his way to the trailer. And for what purpose, you ask? To kill Vasquez, who had cruelly taken advantage of him for all those years. Well, that hit a nerve. So you did do it, didn't you? Yes, I am guilty. It was me. There's blood everywhere. We're too late. Miss Vasquez, what? What happened here? Manuel fell from the trailer stairs. Miss Vasquez, please try to remain calm. How could this? It was an accident. Mr. Hammer was doing an action scene and... Manuel, don't touch him, Miss Vasquez. Please don't die. Please. Congratulations, Mr. Wright. Mr. Wright, I lose again. You're actually going to bow gracefully this time? Mr. Edgeworth, where's D. Vasquez? In the waiting lobby, Your Honor. As calm and collected as ever. I see. Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. It appears you have brought about yet another miracle. Thank you, Your Honor. I think not, Your Honor. Will Powers was innocent. That he should be found so is only natural, not a miracle. Yes, you're right. Very well. This court finds the defendant, Mr. Will Powers, not guilty. Yay! Awesome. It's actually quite simple when you piece it all together, but God, piecing it all together is a nightmare. I don't know what to say. Thank you so much. I'm just glad you're okay. Yes, but it's sad. I know now that Mr. Hammer stole my costume. It's bad enough that he wanted to kill Miss Vasquez, but to think he tried to frame me for murder. It makes me sad. Tell me why, Mr. Wright. Tell me, why did Mr. Hammer want to blame me? Because you were the Steel Samurai dude. He was jealous. Yeah, there's a smush it in his face. This is because you're the Steel Samurai. Because I was the Steel Samurai? Mr. Hammer was a big star once, but he was reduced to acting in a kids show, and as the villain to boot. Kids loved the Steel Samurai, and he hated you. I think I understand. You could have just told me. I would have changed places with him anytime. Yeah, I think you're missing the point of it. He's a bit slow, isn't he? Bless him. Thank you. I'm just glad it's all over. So am I. So am I. Congratulations, WP. Oh, thanks to you, I'll be able to don the Steel Samurai outfit once more. I can't wait to get back into that sweaty costume, man. Is something wrong? No, of course not. Ah! Nick! Edgeworth! Oh, God. Say something, Wright. I'm not good at small talk. What? That was too bad, Edgeworth? You don't waste any time gloating, do you? I really want to thank you. Vasquez would have gotten away if you hadn't stepped in. Pleased to meet you, I'm Powers. Sniff. Edgeworth. I'm a big fan of your work, Mr. Powers. Liar. Right. I must say I hadn't expected to meet you again. After all these years. Meet again? Nick! However, in retrospect, it would have been better had we not met. Thanks to you, I am saddled with unnecessary feelings. Unnecessary feelings? Yes, unease and uncertainty. Aren't those kind of necessary? They only serve to get in my way. You listen to me, Phoenix Wright. Don't ever show your face in front of me again. That's what I came here to tell you. Cold, man. Mr. Wright, is this guy your friend? What? Friends? As if. They're rivals. Rivals, right, Nick? For now we are, I guess. Huh? Why do I get the feeling I'm missing something? Come on, Nick. Tell me, what's the deal with you and Edgeworth? So the curtain closes on another trial. Caused quite a stir by revealing that accident from 5 years ago, and it was the talk of the town. Global Studios rethought its programming change. They went back to making the kids' shows again. Great. Nick! This new show starts today. You're gonna watch it with me, right? I'll admit I was kind of surprised. I didn't think they'd seriously go through with it. You have to buy training cards too, okay, Nick? To train with Cody and that assistant. Fine, I'll do it. Isn't it great that WP gets to play the lead again? Why, is he the Pink Princess? I find that hard to believe. if they'll show his real face this time. I don't know. I think the world's ready for the real Will Powers. Okay, so this is that's the end of Turnabout Samurai at last, and we have a little bit of a sneaky look at Turnabout Goodbyes. And as you can see, there's a couple of new characters on the screen, and we're actually going to do something a little different. It's the final main case. Now, there is one more case after this which I've actually never played because it was included in later editions of the game, I believe. So this is called Turnabout Goodbyes, and I'm going to show you the opening clip. It's been, what, 15 years? About that, yes. 15 years is a long time to wait. You can't imagine how much I've suffered. You suffered? And now the perfect opportunity presents itself. At last, I shall have my revenge. What? Merry Christmas, you filthy animal. No. Oh. And that, my friends, is all you're getting. So we'll unravel this one over a few episodes because this is another long one. So I'd say another 4 or 5 episodes at least for this one. This is probably the hardest case of the game that I know of, and we actually meet a whole new cast of characters, one of them being one of my favourites. And I'm going to have to brush up on my deep South American accent to do it. Howdy, y'all. Oh, God. Howdy, y'all. No, I'm going to have to do something else. Anyway, that's the end of this episode, so thank you very much for watching. I do appreciate your time. I do appreciate your viewership. Do leave me a like and a comment if you've enjoyed it. And like I said, that's the end of Turnabout Samurai. And on to Turnabout Goodbyes. I hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you very much. I will see you on Wednesday for another episode. Bye-bye for now.